this is one thing that I've been feeling with the coronavirus situation right now, is that I really think that we should be mindful of what the other person is feeling, because
Yes.
right now, and the decision they make, because
Mm-hmm.
right now some people would like to wear a mask while
Yes.
they are speaking, we're
Mm-hmm.
having a conversation. Some people would love to touch you and give you a hug, and
Yes.
like, we are living in this situation where I'm really trying not to be judgy of people,
Okay.
and trying to be mindful of the energy
Mm-hmm.
and what they bring to the table, and
Yes.
respecting my own, because I may have to say, my friends, don't hug me, please. Hello, everybody. Welcome to Chai With Us podcast. This is episode number 10. I am Erika, the personal developer.
And I'm Ivana from okoloizabells. And today I'm drinking a lychee black tea with rose. What about you?
Nice. Today I am drinking sage tea again,
Okay.
because it's easy and I like it.
Nothing wrong with that.
I'm just keeping up, trying to save my energy, which is the topic of today. Today we're going to talk about energy, and part of it is just, sometimes you just have to do what you got to do, and just don't try so hard, don't push yourself so hard. So for me, it was the easiest thing to do.
I
That's
agree.
what I've done, respecting my levels.
Yes. So let's talk about energy. What is energy? So energy is the strength or the vitality required for sustained physical or mental activity. It is anything that you get from your chemical or physical resources, and it's able to, especially to provide light. For example, we know how light works. That takes energy.
Mhm.
So that's the definition of energy. It is any transfer to an object to perform work on it. So, for example, we need energy to run, right? How do we run? We move our legs onto the ground and it propels us to run. That takes energy. What kind of energy? Our own physical energy, right, within us. So all of us carry different types of energy that is constantly moving throughout our body. We need energy to eat food, right? We have to actively chew. If we're eating food and we're not chewing, we're gonna choke on our food. Now,
Mhm.
what do you think? How do you define what energy is?
Well, I would say that energy is everything. Energy is a force that moves things, that
Mm-hmm.
can move people, that can move, I don't know, nature, and energy is everywhere. One of my favorite things to do, that you may think it's awkward, but I don't care, would be sometimes I do this walking meditations, or
Okay.
sometimes I'm not even doing it, but I like to stop and take a look at the trees.
Okay.
When you
Mm-hmm.
are walking, you don't feel and you don't see the leaves moving, but they
Mm-hmm.
are moving. There is
Yes.
always this, little movement, and you have to be still to actually capture it. So I
Mm-hmm.
love this moment, and it reminds me there is energy. That energy is everywhere, even though I cannot see it.
It's true. Yes.
And that's what energy is for me, right? We are
Mm-hmm.
here, we are talking, and everything we do, thinking is energy, speaking
Mm-hmm.
is energy, doing nothing is energy,
Yes,
right?
even just getting the light from the sun, that is energy. We have so many solar panels on houses
Yeah.
that transform the light from the energy into energy inside the house, so that all the appliances are working. And you also, that's why it's important to spend some time daily in the sun, so that your skin can get the energy directly from the sun, because that's how we grow. We grow from the sunlight.
Yes, that is so true. And energy, I think it's one of the most important things in the world. And it's one of the things that I worry about the most. I am always trying to check my levels of energy, because lately I've been doing so much that I always have to check in with myself.
Okay.
How am I feeling?
Yes.
What is happening right now? And I was talking to you just an hour ago, and I told you that I felt like everything was harder, even the
Mhm.
little things. So that means that my levels of energy are low, and I
Yes.
have to recharge. And we always have to listen to
And
this.
I love what you said because it's levels of energy, right? Because that's what we say is like, oh, I'm full of energy if you're excited and you have a lot of power and you can just power through your day.
Yeah.
Or you're like, I have no energy at all today, which means that like you just like everything is taking so much longer to perform things because you don't have energy. And so what would you say gives us energy and what takes our energy away or diminishes?
Uh, oof, that's a very difficult question. I was my first instinct was to say that positive things gives you energy and negative things take you energy.
Okay.
But sometimes positive things also take you energy. Like you can
Yes.
be purpose. I am having this conversation with you, but it has been a long week and I
Mm-hmm.
love talking to you and this is so great and I forget that I'm tired. But
Yes.
my energy level is still going down because
Right. Yes.
it's like we are like a cell phone, right? A mobile
Mm-hmm.
phone.
Mm-hmm.
We have this amount of energy, and then
Yeah.
along the way, the week, the day, the week, the month, it goes down. So I think it depends on the person. Also, like you have to discover what gives you energy and what takes off your energy, what sucks off your
Yeah.
energy. If you are a more sensitive person, then you need
Mm-hmm.
to recharge more often. That
Exactly.
I had to learn this lesson. Like I'm not other people that can walk around and move around and
Yes.
I have a lot of energy and I give a lot of energy and then I need to recharge. That's
Right.
how I am. So I think that people should try to figure out and try it out and see how it goes.
Yes.
And if you
And
have
yeah.
to, sorry, just one more thing. And if you have to rest a little bit more, then
Yes.
you think like don't feel bad about it. That's your energy, and you have to respect it because some of us need more sleep, some of us need
Mm-hmm.
to rest a little bit more, whatever that
Yeah.
means to you.
I would say that we get most of our energy from the sun. Like I just said, like I think that we need to spend a certain amount of time every day just walking outside and feeling the sun on us. And I would also venture to say that technology takes a lot of our energy away. Like if we're constantly in front of the computer, and what has happened in the modern society, we have technologized everything. So
Mhm,
many people are daily working on a computer 40 hours a week, and you're
mhm,
just staring into this screen and it's like sucking the energy out of you. And then you're like, when you come home, you have no energy for anything else. Like you just want to lay on your bed and do the same thing tomorrow again. So I
mhm,
would say that be mindful of how many of like, do you really need to do this for
mhm,
work? Or are you just like browsing on Instagram endlessly trying just because you're bored? That takes so much of your energy out of you. And the way you can replenish your energy is spending time in nature. Like you said, go for a
mhm,
walk, sit next to a tree, meditate outside in nature, do your yoga poses outside in nature if you can, if you're able to. Just go for a walk so you can get some sun and feel renewed. Go towards water. Water is very
mhm,
healing. Like just listening to the river flow by has such a like rejuvenative effect, I believe.
mhm. Yes, and now that you said all that, I remember that there are a few things that always will take your energy. It doesn't matter who you are, it
Hmm.
will always take your energy. So there are a lot of studies related to decision fatigue,
Yes.
and that means that basically we have a certain amount of energy that's destined to make decisions. So, and the more decisions you have to make along the day, the more exhausted you will get.
I agree.
So, and this is science, and we don't even need science to
Yes.
tell us that. I was yes today. So I'm exhausted. I had a long week, or my neck hurts, and all like that. So I was trying to do a bunch of things around the house, and I have another things I needed to do, and I needed to prepare for the podcast. It was a complete mess. So I was like, should I do this first? Should I do the other one? Should I do that? And I was getting exhausted, tired of
Yes.
listening to myself, and I was
Yes.
getting exhausted, and I was doing nothing. I was just
Yes.
worrying about everything. So I was like, listen, okay, let's sit down. What do you want to do? And very quickly, I wrote down, I want to do this, and that. And I wrote the time, it was 1 p.m., and I wrote 4 p.m. That was the time that I
Okay.
reached it.
Mm-hmm.
And then I wrote down what I can do. And that just gave me the permission to say, okay, you know what? It's fine. I'm going to do this tomorrow. I'm going to do this now. And all of a sudden everything was more balanced, and I was
Mhm.
using my energy the proper manner,
Yes.
right? Sometimes we use our energy just to
Hmm.
worry about things. What leads me to the other thing I was going to say, which is negative thinking.
Yes.
It's exhausting, and sometimes you don't even know that it's there, which is
Mhm.
just very, very crazy. So worrying about things, about the future, thinking about what you could have done in the past, that's
Mhm.
exhausting, and that takes your energy levels really low. You can sleep 10 hours if you
Mhm.
spend the entire day complaining, worrying, like I was, I don't know what to do,
Mhm.
like your energy levels will drop.
And I like to go back to what you said, which was the bombardment of choice. I think in the West, when you go into a grocery store, there's like 20 different cereals you can purchase. And some people might think, oh, that's so good because we have a choice. No, because it takes you so much longer to decide which one you want. And then you pick up like three and then you still can't decide. And most of the time you go back to your first choice anyways.
Mm-hmm.
So, before in the grocery store, we would just go pick up all our items and leave, and we would maybe spend 30 minutes. And then now we're spending like an hour just looking because there's so much choice that we don't know what to pick. And I mean, I think having a choice is such a beautiful experience that you can choose things in your life. But at the same time, when you have too much choice and it's too much of the same thing, you're just going into what you said, decision fatigue. Like you are so tired by just thinking about which choice to choose.
Yeah. In this case, make a list to go to
Yes.
the supermarket. Seriously, I like to make the list, because every time I don't make a list, it's exactly what you say. It's overwhelming because there's so many things walking around. Like it's just too. And if you are sensitive, especially if you
Mhm.
are sensitive, you are going to be affected by it. You're going to be affected. Um, with about having a lot of people around you, about having,
Yes.
for example, I don't like going to the supermarket,
You what?
because
Sorry.
I don't like going to the supermarket
Okay.
because it's like, first of all, I don't like to carry things, and then it's just an overwhelming experience in general. There are
It is.
too many people walking around. Now it's going to the supermarket now, it's like a reminder of the coronavirus, because it's
Mm-hmm.
not the same thing. I walk around, I'm in my house, and I do stuff. I don't, I forget about coronavirus. I go to the supermarket, and there's go and gel and do this and go the other one, put the gloves. And there's a lot of people when you shouldn't have that amount of people, because we have a
Exactly. Yeah.
pandemic going on. Just to say that sometimes these little experiences in your daily life, they can be enough to lower your levels of energy.
Mhm.
And imagine that we have a 24-hour day. So it is necessary to manage it and to check in with yourself, from time to time, because even something as simple as going to the supermarket makes
Mhm.
a huge difference.
Yes.
And we're talking about the supermarket, and it looks like, oh, levels of energy supermarket. What are they talking
Mhm.
about? But all these things, they add up. You know what
They
I
do.
mean? When
Yes.
you wake up and you don't know what you're going to wear, you don't know if you're going to drink this coffee or the other coffee, if you're going to start with your emails, or if you're going to start with phone calls, if you're going to, you know what I mean? I'm exhausted just
Yes.
talking about it. And that's what happens. Seriously.
It's true. I would say that we're like a battery. We have a positive end and a negative end. On
Yes.
the negative end, we're receptors of energy. On the positive end, we're giving energy. So if you're constantly just giving and giving and giving and giving, you're going to become imbalanced in your battery life, right? Because you're going to be too much positive. So you need to come back to the receptive as well. And it's especially what you're going through, like teaching your classes on video for so long, like you're constantly just talking and talking and talking into this computer, and the computer is, yes, you're seeing their faces, but it's like soul crushing. It like takes your energy out of you.
Yes, yes, it's totally true, and I told you, and one of the ways I have to balance the energies, I spoke about this before. I'm very passionate about being silent. It doesn't
Mm-hmm.
look like, but I love silence. So that's what I'm gonna do next week. That's what I'm gonna
Yeah.
do. I'm gonna be
Yes.
silent for a day, and I'm gonna restore my levels of energy, because everything
Mm-hmm.
is so. Uh, I'm fine, you know what I mean? But I feel
Yes,
that the
and
energy,
you feel
everything,
low. Yeah.
yeah, yeah, I need
And
to.
you can also balance your energy by having a salt bath with like Epsom salt, like putting that in the tub and just laying there for like 20, 30 minutes. And that will help you replenish your energy levels.
Oh, that's so cool that you mentioned that. I love it. And actually, I learned this from a friend of mine, an African friend. And a lot of African cultures simply we do like a salt bath. I
Mm-hmm.
was born in Africa. I was born in Angola, raised in Portugal, just to give some context. So we usually just basically just boil water
Mm-hmm.
somewhere and just throw, I don't know, a handful of salt, yeah,
Mm-hmm.
and then we take a bath. Of course, like the ritual is like listening to some sooth music, maybe chant a mantra or
Mm-hmm.
something. Just make it really calm and good
Yes.
for you to tune in, you know. And
Mm-hmm.
then what it happens is we take a shower or a bath, and in the end, from the neck, from here, from the neck down,
Mm-hmm.
we basically throw the water, and
Water over, yeah.
we let salt wash ourselves and balance the levels of energy.
Yes.
And if you are going to do this, don't go outside after. Do this in the
Okay.
evening and sleep. Go to bed, because what happens is that you are basically cleaning everything. You
Mm-hmm.
are cleaning your energy levels. So
Mm-hmm.
it's gonna be like a huge drop, but then it's gonna go up and balance. So I
Yes.
advise you just do this and then go to bed. There's so many
Thank
things.
you for saying that. I didn't even think about it, but that's such a good idea because if you're cleaned and you go back outside, you pick up that energy again.
Yeah.
And that's why, in most homes, we take off our shoes because you leave like the energy outside. You don't want to walk around outside everywhere and then walk with the shoes inside the house because you're bringing that energy inside of the house.
Oh, I never thought of that. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, it's true.
That's why in a lot of cultures, like you have to take your shoes off inside when you're entering someone's home.
Yeah. I love it. Another thing that is very simple if you want to apply it is just we use salt. It's not only in African culture, and other cultures do that, but I can
Yes.
only speak from my experience. But you can have just a cup with salt underneath your bed. I was going to say your bed. Your bed. It's usually if you want to put it close to your door, you can
Okay.
also put it to protect
What does that
yourself.
do?
The thing is that when people go into your house, you don't know what type of energy
Ah,
they
yes.
bring.
Okay.
Okay,
Okay. Yes.
so if you have a little bit of salt, maybe a cup or a
Hmm.
glass, a little thing, so then the
Yes.
salt will absorb the
Okay.
energy. That's the purpose of it. I don't know if
Interesting.
it's like really works or anything, but
Yeah.
salt is a
Yes.
powerful thing to have, and we all have salt. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Even if
Yes.
it is just as a placebo, I actually feel better with these little things.
Yeah. Also, if you're feeling negative or something is off in your energy, like you're very agitated, what you can do is take water, like a water bottle, add some salt to it and a squeeze of lime and shake it and then drink that. And that will help you even out your energy levels inside of yourself. So you can actually also drink the salt just a little bit to taste salt. It doesn't have to be too salty, and add a little bit of lime, and that helps you balance. Because I remember once I hugged this person, and after first I felt very heavy, and I don't know if that was her energy that was still left, but that really helped me was to clear out the energy from the inside. And I like what you said about having the salt when people come to visit. You can also sage your place. I don't know if you've ever done that. You burn sage all
Yeah,
over the house
I
before
have
someone
sage,
comes.
yeah, and Palo
Yeah.
Santo.
Yes,
I have
exactly.
everything.
Both are really good to
Yeah.
cleanse the energy in your home before someone visits and then after they leave, so that like that energy is gone.
Yeah. And don't get me wrong, like it's not that I think that everybody's walking around with bad energy. It's just that we all carry something, you know. I can go to your house and have a heavy energy one
Yes.
day. You know what I mean? It's not like I'm old, you know. It's just that
Have the cross out there like away.
put some sage in your face. Now people think that we're crazy. You come to my house, I'll be like, hey, yeah, hey, yeah.
I love to see that. That should be our next recording.
You should see my boyfriend's face when I was
Will
saging
you
my
sage
house.
him?
Yeah, because he knew, you know. But then I cleaned the house. I was, listening to Beyonce, like I always
Yes.
do. And then I was like, and he was like, okay. I'm like, "Yeah, let me sage you as well. Come on. Tita, come on. That was fun. I know he loves me.
Yes.
Ah,
But these things have been used like across so many cultures. I see this used in India, in Bali, in Hawaii. A lot of the Hispanic culture, like in Mexico, they use sage because they honor the dead. So it's, all these, there's something behind it because so many different cultures use sage to cleanse the spirit.
yeah. And you know what? Laughing is one of the best things ever. It boosts your mood and it does something to your spirit.
Exactly.
I love laughter yoga, for example.
I was just thinking that, like I was thinking laughter yoga when you said it.
Isn't it the best thing? It's so
Yes.
cathartic. It's like,
Yes.
Whoa.
Yes.
Oh.
But it's also important to do those grounding dances after because you're like you're making your spirit go up so high, and so
Yes.
you need to like come back down slowly. So it's really important to also do the grounding practices when you're doing laughter yoga. But I love that you mentioned that because I was just thinking of it.
Yeah. Oh boy, that's so cool. I think about it and I just smile because I love it so much. And it's
Yes.
one thing that if you are a yoga teacher, or I don't know if you practice, or if you are a coach, or if you work with kids, it's such a good thing to integrate and to just put the energies up like straight away, and you feel so much better after. It's just so cool. I love it.
So we talked a lot about like our own energy and how to like protect yourself or like clean yourself, cleanse your energy. How do you think energy transfers to other people? Like the first thing I think of is a handshake, right? When we meet someone, we shake their hand and automatically you in your head kind of develop like what you think about this person, like when from their handshake. Do you know what I mean? Like if you shake someone's hand and it's like really hard, you're like, oh, maybe this person is a little rough or angry. And if it's like not, if it's like very clammy and like they're not very positive, you're like, oh, this person has no confidence. So just by a handshake, it's like the first introduction to how we feel about a person.
Yeah, and I think that it's even more deep. I think that with the handshake it's obvious because every time you do a handshake, you are trying to transmit something. I don't know. Yeah. So I have to stop saying I don't know.
It's okay.
That's a tip for my future self. So you're trying to transmit something. You are telling the person who you are, or you are trying to tell the person who you are. But I think it's even deeper than that. I don't know anything about auras, but I know that we have this energetic body, and we are sensitive beings, once more than others, and we sense energy and we feel energy. We walk around and things affect us. A commercial affects us, news affects us, other people affect us. So every time you are in contact with somebody, you are exchanging energy, right? I am giving you something, you are giving me something. And I think that's why it's so important for us to be grounded.
Yes.
To be, I say I like to be like spiritually protected.
Yes, be within your own energy.
Yeah, so we don't get, I'm very sensitive to this kind of stuff. I say it again, but when I am less tired, energized, I did my grounding practices. You can say whatever, I will be like, I don't care. But if I'm very low energy, for example, if someone screams today in the street or something like that, I will feel very bad. It will affect me more because my levels are so low.
Yeah, and you can do these practices out like in your home. Like before you say to yourself, like I think it's called like the Saint Germain practice, where you say that like the saint is protecting me, and you think of yourself as like this white light you're bringing inside of you, and you say like nothing is going to affect me today. When I go, my aura is going to be clear.
I like that. I like that. And
I
I
think they're
also,
called Saint Germain practice. I think I can look that up and tell you guys next podcast. But yeah, it's like you before you ever step outside of your house, you do this like you do this circle around your head and like you bring it like to your heart and you say like today I am in this aura of happiness, of yellow or whatever, and nothing is gonna affect me. And then you go outside and it's so interesting. It's like sometimes how you feel is like other people can feel it too because they know like
Mhm.
people are gonna start approaching you and maybe you're not going to have the experience that you just talked about. But I really like what you said, how if you're empathetic or you're sensitive, everything affects you, especially music. And psychologists studied this. So that's why when you go into a store, depending on what kind of clothes they're selling, they might sell it like you might hear club music because they're selling like going out clothes. Or you go to another store and it's much more like indie because it's more related towards creative work. So
Yeah.
science, like psychologists have studied this for years, and they know what music appeals to you for the type of clothes that you're buying, and it's all a science too. Like all the discounts are at the end of the store because you have to walk through the entire store before you get there because that's how they draw you in.
Mhm.
And even what side the clothes are on. So typically the clothes are on the right side for women and on the left side for men. And when you go into the store and it's opposite, you feel like something is wrong. So all this like has been studied by scientists, and it's like they've developed like the consumerism, like what if you hear a commercial on the TV, the ad is at a higher volume than the normal volume. So it's like all
Mhm.
these things that you don't even realize that are affecting you.
Yes, totally right. And one thing you mentioned about the Saint Germain, and I think it's very interesting. Never heard about it before, so it's new thing
Okay.
for me. One thing that I used to do now, not that much because we are in more or less quarantine, so we're not
Yeah.
walking around that much.
Right.
But I learned this trick. I don't know from who. I'm sorry,
Yeah.
cannot tell the person, but it's basically, for example, let's say I'm in a bus and I see somebody and the energy is weird. Okay, I
Okay.
feel weird. So what I
Okay.
do is that I imagine that I am in this bubble of energy and
Okay.
that I am protected.
Okay.
So I create a shield around my energy.
Yes. Okay. Mm-hmm.
And this is interesting. I've done it sometimes, it works, sometimes it doesn't work because it's like a very intense thing to do because you are focusing your entire energy in protecting yourself and keeping your energy safe. But I think it's an interesting exercise, especially to
Mm-hmm.
practice. When I did it more often, I could do it more easily. So
Yes.
just practice, and this is good for you if you have like grounding issues, if you don't
Mm-hmm.
feel
Mm-hmm.
safe. Just imagine that there is a bubble around you of like beautiful energy and
Mm-hmm.
imagine that you are protected so things don't
Yes.
hit you as hard.
Yes. And many podcasts ago, I don't even remember when, but we talked about how when you first wake up in the morning to like do like a little dance before you
Mhm.
start your day, because that just like, because dancing always represents like a happy time, right? Like most cultures come together to dance together to celebrate an event. So when you wake up in the morning and you do your own little dance, you're setting the mood for the rest of the day and for the type of people that you're going to interact with. And maybe you're interacting with people that are negative, but your mood is going to be so positive that you're not going to get out of your positive mood because you have done the daily practices that we always talk about.
Yeah, and starting the day positively, like doing positive
Yes.
actions and grounding practices, will help you navigate throughout the day and keep your levels of energy higher than they would be. For example, if you wake up and you look at your telephone, first thing you wake up, I'm gonna take a look at the emails. I'm gonna come on. You are just starting, and Jay Shetty always says something like, "You are allowing 1 million people in your bedroom."
Exactly.
That's the first thing you do is open Instagram or Facebook. You are
Yeah.
allowing millions of people to
Hmm.
literally be in your room, and
Yes.
looking at what you are doing. And I love this idea. It hit me when
Hmm.
he said that. I was like, yeah, so I'm allowing these people to dictate my
Exactly.
day.
Access to you.
I'm
Yeah.
going to start my day my way. I don't want to start my day asking, answering emails and
Hmm.
like,
Hmm.
you should start your day, ground yourself, and then at least for me that's what works because then I am ready. It's not
Yes.
like otherwise it's just so aggressive because I'm in response mode.
Yes, it's true. You're so right. It's so important that when you wake up in the morning, that you do your own daily rituals and not look at social media and not look at your phone because again, that's the technological piece. So it's going to suck your energy out. And maybe like someone has a horrible status, like you've just found out your friend died, and that's how your day gets set. So it's very important that you do your own daily practices first and wake up and allow yourself to wake up to the day.
Yes, allow yourself to wake up to the day. I love that. Yes, because that's exactly what I mean. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because we talked about this too, is whatever you focus on grows.
Mhm.
So if you're always focusing on the negative, that's going to grow. But if you're focusing on the positive and that's how you do your meditation and your gratefulness and your mindfulness practices, focus on all the positive things you have in your life, and then you will see how abundant you are, and it's just going to keep multiplying.
Totally, totally. And you just touched gratitude over there. And
Mm-hmm.
I love the fact that you did it because gratitude is a way of grounding as well and
Yeah.
focusing on the positive. We live in a time where social media and news and everything, and don't get me wrong, I love social media, but I just think we should just tone it down a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
Don't spend so much time over there because it's a
Yeah.
crazy, it's a dark place sometimes, and
Mm-hmm.
these things, they are affecting us. If you when coronavirus situation started, people were spending the entire day looking at the news. Did that
Yes.
do any favor? First, it didn't do me any favor.
Right. I agree with you. Like you have to be conscious what you're watching on TV. And for 2 years, I did not have a TV. And now that I'm staying at my parents' house and I started watching TV, there is so much violence on TV. Like I never realized like every movie is violent. Even the action movies are very violent. So like if you're constantly watching this violence, it's going to
Mhm.
go within yourself. And it's not a good place to be with so much like there's no reason for you to watch all of that.
Yeah, I mean, just be conscious about it. I don't own a TV as well, but I love Netflix. I love HBO. I have fun with it. I love YouTube. But I want to choose what I want to see. I don't want to be bombarded with it. You
Hmm.
know what I mean? News
Yes.
are gonna come to me.
Hmm.
It's impossible that I'm not up to date. I'm online, so news come to me, and then I
Exactly.
look for it and I go to the source, and look for it instead of just being bombarded and
Hmm.
without being even prepared to see the nonsense that we see. We see people
Yes.
getting killed on
Yes.
television,
All the time.
real time. I know. I mean, like these people, they have a family. This
Hmm.
is one thing that outrages me a lot when we see images and they're like, "Ooh, sensitive images." Of course, they're sensitive images. They shouldn't be on TV. We shouldn't
Yeah.
be seeing people dying on TV. Like,
Hmm.
talk about it. Don't show it like all the time because
Right.
these people, I wouldn't like, God forbid, one of my family members, on TV. Like, what the hell is that? Are we crazy?
Exactly. Yeah. Because you want to grieve in silence and with your family over the event.
Yeah, at least do it to respect the person, or just try to
Yes.
cut it. It's just, it is too aggressive. It's
Hmm.
normalized, but it is affecting us. Don't think that this is normalized and it's okay. It is affecting us. And I see this every day, every day.
Hmm. It's true.
Yeah.
And just going back to the handshake, I really don't like when people shake your hand and they put the other hand on the arm because it feels very overpowering. You know
Mm,
what I'm talking about? Like when they shake with one hand and then they put the other hand like really high on your elbow.
yeah.
And that's why I love like so many cultures, especially in Japan and in India, you say namaste. Like in Japan, you don't shake people's hand,
Yeah.
you just bow to them just like they do to you.
Yeah.
And the same thing with money in Japan. You never give the money in the hand. In Japan, you put the money in like this little plate that they have and then they take the money, or you take the money into both hands and bow and then give it to them because
Hmm.
money is also a type of energy.
Yeah. It's good, very, very good points that you mentioned. And I didn't know that about the money in
Yes.
Japan. I am
Hmm.
very weird. I'm not weird. What am I going to say? I'm not weird. I am very, because that's not weird. That's just who I am.
Yeah.
Uh, like, I like that people respect my personal space.
Yes.
Don't talk, like, please
Yes.
don't talk in my, don't do this. respect my personal space.
Yes.
One thing my mother always used to say is just be aware of people that like hug you first time they know you and stuff like that.
Exactly. Yes.
And it's true. She was right about that. I mean, just respect my
Space. Yeah.
space.
Yes.
We all have a space, and we have to walk around being respectful. Now, coronavirus just made everything easier.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Is it too soon? I am so sorry, but I had to say this. It just came out of my mouth.
Yeah. It's okay.
But like, I mean, you are getting into my energy. So
Yes.
ask permission first.
Yes.
You know, I
Hmm.
am not capable of getting somewhere and be all over your face. I'm
Yes.
not capable of. And I think
See,
it's very
yes.
aggressive.
In the Serbian culture, like you kiss each other like on the cheek, and I don't like that because I don't know this person. Like, why is my face next to them? I really hate that. Like, I don't like that
I,
at all.
we do this in Portugal and we do this in Spain. So I'm so
But
used to
is
it.
it with people that you just met as well, or is it only with friends?
Yeah, with people that you have met as well. Now that I'm
Okay.
getting older, people are
Mhm.
more conscious and maybe they give
Yeah.
you a handshake if you are not that, I don't know,
Yeah.
if you are,
To me, it's strange. Like I'm just
yeah,
meeting this stranger. Now, why are we so
yeah,
close to kissing each other? You know what I mean? Like our cheeks
yeah,
are touching each other.
that's a good
I,
point.
you
That's
know
a
what
good
I mean?
point.
Like
Like,
I
who
just
are
met
you?
you. Like who are you?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. That's a very good point. That's one of the things that I do it all the time because it's the cultural stuff
Yeah.
and I never thought about it. So it doesn't bother me because it's just something we do.
But then how is that respecting your space? How is that, you know what I
No,
mean?
but then
That's
walk
okay.
away. Don't stay there. Don't stay on that. Like, I mean, hello. Okay, how are you? Yeah, but I don't give a kiss on the cheek like of my
Yeah.
colleagues or
Yeah,
maybe
yeah, yeah.
my boyfriend's friends or
Mhm.
my brother's friends. I
Yeah.
do this with everybody. But what I mean is like, hello, bye. Stay there. Don't
A
speak.
quickie.
Some people cannot avoid that. Some
Yeah.
people are very touchy, and I'm
Yes,
sorry
I
for
know. I don't like touchy people. Maybe
that.
because I've spent so much of my working life working with abused women and abused kids that you have to be
Mm,
very careful with what will trigger someone. And so
mhm.
that's why I'm always very apprehensive about how I touch other people and how like they touch me because I'm so, you know what I mean? That's been my work. And so you have to be very cognizant of that. And I do not like touchy people. I can't.
But I mean, I don't like it as well. I can't deal with touchy people. I don't like it as well, and I think that's very. I like your attitude because you
Mhm.
never know. And if you
Yeah,
are a touchy people, just check the other person first
exactly. See if they will be responsive to it.
before you go, that leads me to a very beautiful thing. So first time we meet someone, do you know we have this half of second when we are like feeling each other's energy
Yes, yes, yes,
and
absolutely.
you're like, should I hug these people? Should I give two kisses? Should I keep distance? And it's such a
Yes.
magical moment, right? Because
Mhm.
you have no information. So you're basically
Right.
going on your instincts and based on your
You have to listen to your
energy.
gut.
Yeah, and the energy you feel and you get from the other people.
And do you ever like realize how almost always your first instinct was right? Like
Oh
if you were
yeah,
like a little bit apprehensive about a person, but you like suppressed it,
yeah,
later on, what you knew about that person came true. So
yeah.
like it's very important, like we always talk about, listen to your gut. What does your stomach say when you're meeting someone? Are you
No
having
butterflies.
butterflies? If there's no butterflies, you're fine. You can do that all you want to. But if there's butterflies, no, no, no.
I love it. You know what? You should start a movement like hashtag no butterflies. I love it. I'm gonna write it down so I don't forget about this. Hashtag no butterflies.
No butterflies. I like. I'm gonna write it down.
Oh boy, that is so true. And I'm having so much fun that I forgot what I was going to say next. I have no idea what I was
We're
going.
talking about when it's appropriate how we meet someone. I
Yeah.
really like the idea of India and Japan where they just say namaste and we just bow to each other and it's a sign of respect. Like I respect you, it's so nice to meet you, but we don't have to touch.
Hmm. Yeah, I like that as well. But you know, I'm both African and European. You know, from Portugal, we like to have
Yeah, to
some
hug. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
contact.
Which I'm not against that if it's with friends. You know what I mean? Like people
Yeah,
that you know, like no problem. But when it's just with strangers, I feel very eerie about it.
yeah. Strangers, distance. We just decided it. I, I made the executive decision. Strangers, watch this podcast. This one is
Yes.
for you. Stay away.
Keep your distance.
Yeah, keep your distance. And you know
I
what?
guess my thing is like be respectful of each other's boundaries.
Yes, yes, exactly. That's why we need to feel. And this is one thing that I've been feeling with the coronavirus situation right now, is that I really think that we should be mindful of what the other person is feeling. Because
Yes.
right now, and the decision they make, because
Hmm.
right now, some people would like to wear a mask while
Yes.
they are speaking, you know, we're
Hmm.
having a
Hmm.
conversation. Some people would love to touch you and give you a hug. And
Yes.
like, we are living in this situation where I'm really trying not to be judgy of people,
Okay.
and trying to be mindful of the energy on
Hmm.
and what they bring to the table, and
Yes.
respecting my own, because I may have to say, my friends, don't hug me, please,
Yes.
because you know, my boyfriend has his mom is an elderly person, so
Exactly. Yeah.
I can't. I feel responsible for her. Like if I
It's
get
true.
it,
Yeah.
that's cool. I will be fine, I think, because I'm healthy. But there's other things going on. So right
Hmm.
now we need to be very mindful and respect our, because it's so easy for us to get caught up on things. Like I saw
Hmm.
a friend of mine and I wanted to hug her, but I'm like, I have to,
Yes.
focus
It's
and to,
true. Yeah. We have to be respectful of each other's energy levels and each other's families and people
yeah,
that live with them for sure.
yeah.
We also mentioned that money is a type of energy. And so once you, like before, I always used to be in like the lack of, like I was always thinking, oh, I never have enough money, never have enough money. And then I watched this video on Mind Valley. And
Mhm.
I'm sorry, I don't remember the person's name, but what he said is that when you get money, you say arigato. And when you give money, you say arigato. And that just means like thank you. Like you're saying thank you for the money. And then when you give it, you're saying thank you for the money. And
Mhm.
so you're always just in this positive, you know, force of like thank you for the money coming, thank you for the money leaving. It's going to be continuous. And I started doing that. Like I had to pay this medical bill and a lot of money left, but then a lot of money came back in for me to pay another bill. And I started doing that. I started saying arigato and then arigato, and I feel like it works. So like I would love to hear from our audience if they were to do that, like how they felt, how they ventured, if that helped you. But yeah, money is energy as well. Like what do you think about that?
Yes, I totally agree. I used to think that money is money, is a paper, but I
Hmm.
realized that money is energy, and I also worked on it, and I practiced that. What you just said, I practiced that. I got my
Hmm.
paycheck today, and I was like, "Thank you, universe. That's fine. That's great." I bought my camera. Thank you, universe. I finally got the money to buy my camera, and I appreciate it. I celebrate the things that I can do with money now,
Yes,
instead of that anxious feeling of not having, just being appreciative for the fact that I can pay my bills, for the fact that I
yes,
have a ceiling. And you know, and I talked to you the other day, I spoke to you, and I told you I look at my bank statement now more
hmm,
often. I had this problem, I didn't want to look because there was not
yeah,
much there, yeah, so I didn't want to
uh-huh,
face it. And even though the situation changed, I
hmm,
still had the same behavior. So now I look more at my bank statement, and you
hmm,
know, I'm just working on having a healthier relationship
yeah.
with the
I mean,
money.
money is just a tool that we use to pay for services. And sometimes instead of paying money, you can exchange services. Like maybe I will write an article for you if you do this for me instead of like using money. So
Mm.
money to me is just a tool
Yeah,
for service.
yeah, it is true. But the thing is that we have so many perceptions about money and ideas. You know, it depends also. We're going to talk about this in our next podcast. But like, money, you have perceptions and you have ideas around it that are very deep into your soul, and you
Yes.
probably have a self-destructive behavior over money. And I mean, and it's good to address that.
Yes.
And it's good to know this and acknowledge that it's just another energy walking around, right? Because that paper is just a freaking paper, but it has a certain energy. So you
Yes.
want to create a good environment for you and a good vibe around money so you can get more of it.
Yes, I love what you said, and you mentioned that you made a very good comment about how sometimes you don't even know why you have such negative beliefs about money. It probably has to do with you being a child, and maybe you watched your parents arguing over money, and then you realize that money like leads to arguments, or money leads to lack of, or maybe you were in a family that didn't have a lot of money, so you have to make a lot of sacrifices, and so that affected you, and like that's how you learned about money as a child. So it's very important to ask yourself, like, what do I believe about money? Where does that belief come from, and is it true, and can I change that belief, and how do I do that?
Yeah, true story. We have to go way back and figure out what happened, and see why do we have the relationship that we have with money, because more money is not going to sort out your issue. If you don't think you are deserving of money, you are going to find ways of losing it and or spending it in a very irresponsible way. And I talk about this from experience. It's something that I have worked on, and now I feel more comfortable around money and having money. And I am still working on it, because I think it goes very deep. It goes, I am listening to a book that is very, very cool. I'm going to link it because I don't remember the name, but it's something about the feeling, like when you feel you are worth it, you can attract abundance.
Yes.
And if you feel you are not worth it, you are not going to attract abundance. So the entire book is like exercises, so you can focus on that, because that's the base. That's the base for you to figure out this whole situation. Because you can have a finance education, but emotionally, if you are not ready to receive the money, then there's no point. You can win the lottery. It's proven. People win the lottery and spend it. And therefore,
or something bad happens to them, like the curse of the lottery. That's why I don't want to win the lottery. Like, I've never won it. I don't play the lottery. I don't want to win the lottery.
I could use some lottery money, universe, if you're I don't know. But yeah, and we're gonna make an entire podcast on that, on abundance, energy, and money, and all that. And you're gonna receive a lot of tips and exercises. But you can start with that book, because I started and I have a pending exercise to do, and I like it. I think it's really cool. Yeah. And just one, I think we covered a lot of things, but I want to cover just one more thing, like sex and energy.
Yes.
This I had like I had so many discussions over this topic, because we all know that sex is energy, and but yet we engage in behaviors where we give away our energy during sex, sometimes with random people, not judging, just pointing it out, and sometimes with people that we, just realizing, like a hookup, like when you are having sex, I think it's just this. We make it seem like it's just, it's natural. Yes, it's natural. Right. It's just sex. Okay, no, it's not just.
You're exchanging energy.
Yeah, and it's like one of the deepest way of exchanging energy, because you are vulnerable as F, and you are open to receive whatever that person has to give you.
Yes. I read somewhere once that said that if you don't want to be that person, don't sleep with them. Like, have you heard that before? Like, if this is a person you wouldn't want to be 100%, don't sleep with them.
I like that. And I believe that. Okay, I have made this mistake before. And what I realized is I never feel better after.
Okay.
I never, like, seriously, you can tell me whatever you want, but you may feel good for 1 hour,
Mm-hmm.
what happens to me, my experience is that I don't feel good after.
Okay.
So just think about it.
Maybe they're taking more of your energy than they're giving back to you.
Maybe I just think that you should actually like think about who you have sex with. And
Exactly.
think about, I had this discussion, and I remember a friend of mine having this discussion and telling me, listen, it's just sex, it's my body, I do what I want. And I agree with that. I just think that we are not mindful and conscious enough about what we are doing.
Mm-hmm.
I
Mm-hmm.
used to think like this as well until I started to think, listen, Erika, do you actually feel better after you do this? Like,
Yeah.
what is this bringing into your life? Because
Mm-hmm.
most of the times I felt horrible
Okay.
after, and it's not even good sex, let's be honest. Said
You're
it.
talking about the past, right? Like not about your
Of
current
course,
situation.
I'm in a
Okay.
relationship. I have sex with one person that I actually love, and it's
Yes.
great sex because I
Uh-huh.
love that person. That person loves me. We
Mm-hmm.
love each other's energy.
Yes.
We feed of each other.
And now you can see what a big difference that makes from your previous
Oh,
relationships.
yes, exactly. Not all the relationships were horrible or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Every relationship suited its purpose. And I had sex with people
Mm-hmm.
who I was not in a relationship with. So
Yeah.
I'm talking from experience that sometimes we just think that, okay, uh, this is not the absolute truth. I know that some people will say I'm wrong, but from experience, from what I have felt, it's not worth it. And
Mm-hmm.
it's just like, I respect my energy so much.
Exactly.
Not to say that you don't respect yours,
Mm-hmm.
please. I respect my energy so much that I don't want my energy out there with, I just don't. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
if I am not going to the, waste my time going to the cinema with
Mm-hmm.
you, if I'm not going to do other stuff with you, then why should I have sex with you?
Exactly.
Like, there
Exactly.
are a lot of things we can do to satisfy ourselves. Like,
It's
uh,
true.
yeah,
Yeah.
I'm a bit extreme today, but I mean, it's
No,
our
it's true.
energy and
I agree with everything that you've said. Yeah.
everything. The way
I
we
remember
talk.
once I was dating this guy and I just could not sleep with him because I knew deep down I never wanted to be with him or to be him because he was scared of everything and he would put me down without like doing it actively, like, like a little like snide comment. And I realized that I don't want to be this type of person. So I couldn't sleep with him. I just couldn't do it because I knew that deep down I didn't want that energy.
Uh-huh. And I had a friend once. She told me, like, she was having some issues with this guy. I don't remember what was it, but she told me something like, I don't want to see him. If I go to his place, I will have to have sex with him.
What? Why do you think you have to have, like, no, it's your choice.
We have some, I think this is another podcast because
It's
we have
your
some.
choice.
It's
Who
your
said that you have to? Who
choice.
said that? Like, that's the most absurd thing I've ever
No,
heard.
some women think that they have to. It's your boyfriend, so you have to.
No, not even if it's your husband. You know what I mean? Like, that's not the law
Yeah,
anymore.
but some people think that,
Yeah.
and I'm not talking about old women. I'm talking
Yeah,
about
I know what you mean. Yeah.
20s. I'm talking about people in their 20s. So I think
Mm-hmm.
we need to be more educated about what energy is and what it does to our body. And
Mm-hmm.
a friend of mine, Bird, she talks about this all the time, and she has a YouTube channel and also on Instagram, Bird
Mm-hmm.
Mejia. I will tag her or something. Not tag her. We don't tag people on YouTube, but I'm going to mention her somewhere
I
in
know what you mean.
the description. So she talks about this all the time, and she says like this energy is in your body like for months,
Mm-hmm.
months. And do you want this? Do you want this person's energy?
Yeah,
Like, I mean, most of the times, I will be honest, you don't.
exactly.
So contemplate it. Think about it. I think I gave people some food for thought.
Yeah, I think so too.
Controversial. I know a lot of people will not agree with this, but see for yourself.
It's true. Yeah. And then we wonder why we feel the way that we feel when we're doing everything the wrong way.
Great
We're
point.
not respecting our energy.
Yeah, exactly.
Just
Exactly.
ask yourself, like, what are you consuming daily? Whether that's like another person or food or TV, like, because all those things affect you internally.
Mhm. Yeah, that is so true. That is so true. And well, and just apply the practices that we have mentioned here. Boost your mood every time you can. You know,
Yes.
have a rest every time you need. As I said, next week I'm gonna do this silent day. I mean,
Mhm.
just do whatever you need because we are not the same. We are not equal. Some people
Yeah.
get exhausted like faster than another one. Some people have energy that lasts forever, and
Hmm.
that's fine. But just check in and be mindful. I think that meditation is just.
Hmm.
I love meditation because it
Yeah.
helps you check in with yourself, and you become so much conscious. You become who you are, how you're feeling, you check in easily, you are like, okay, I need this, I need to tone down, I need to level up. um,
Hmm.
and yeah, I think I'm done today.
Yeah. That was a very nice comment. Thank you.
Thank you. Jeez, I love our conversation. And it's the craziest thing is that we just had like 3 bullet points or something
Hmm.
like that, and like so many things that we have mentioned. It just, I mean, talking to you just helps me, it goes two ways.
Yes. It's just an exchange of information.
Yeah, of energy. You see, information is
Yes.
energy. We feed off each other. And I am so tired today. And you made me smile.
Oh, that's good.
We
Yay.
started, and you're like, I don't know, we were making jokes and stuff like that. And then I got the energy to do this. Maybe if
Yeah.
I'm recording a video by myself, I don't know. I would have to listen to Destiny's Child for 2 hours.
Are you saying I'm your Destiny's Child for today?
Yes. Yes. Yeah.
Yeah, it's true. I completely agree with everything that you said. It's we feed off of each other and the conversation is always really nice.
Yeah.
And we want to hear from our audience. Like tell us what you think, like I asked before, like what do you think energy is? How do we exchange it? Do you see any improvements that can be made? How do you get your energy back? Like what work do you do to know to get your energy back?
Yeah, exactly. Let us know in the comments. Send us an email if you want. I'm going to place the email over here,
Hmm.
chaywithuspodcast@gmail.com.
Yes.
And yeah, and don't forget to like and subscribe if you would like to support us. We would love to grow and to,
Yes.
reach out to more people and have larger conversations.
Yes,
So if you
agreed.
can do that for us, that would be really deeply appreciated.
Yes. Thank you so much. And we'll see
Thank
you next
you.
week.
See you next Tuesday. Tuesday, right?
Bye.
Bye.